Have you ever been on a walk or a hike at your local state park and come across something that looks like this? It looks like a bunch of nets that are rolled up, and there may even be a sign like this attached to it. And you think to yourself, I wonder what they're actually doing out here. Well, as an avid birder, I know that these are all the sure signs that a bird banding station is set up. And in this video, I'm riding along for the day with one of the bird banding teams here in Denver out at Barr Lake. We're gonna do our rounds, we're gonna catch birds in the net.
Well, hey, little friend.
We're gonna weigh them, we're gonna measure them, we're gonna band them, and we're gonna set them free. And I'm gonna tell you everything you ever wanted to know about banding birds. As I made my way out to Barr Lake early that morning to meet up with the team, one thing you should know is that bird banding doesn't happen year-round. Or well, I should say here in Colorado, banding is only done twice a year. It's done from April through May for the spring migration, and then again from late August through October for the fall migration. And the day I was going out there in September should be one of the peak days of the entire season, but more on that later in the video. After I parked and walked out there, we immediately got to work setting up the nets for the morning.
Up as high as we can go without going off, and down. We'll keep it up a little bit.
This is Meredith McBurney. She's the lead bander here at Barr Lake, and she's the person I was going to be following around all day to learn the ropes out here. Not only is she the lead bander at this location, but she's been banding birds in Colorado for over 20 years. After dealing with a few more minor issues during setup, we were good to go, and we made our way back to here, the central hub of the banding station, where once the birds are captured, this is where they're measured, banded, and eventually released.
So once they're done set up, how soon do we go check?
We check every half hour right now the weather's okay and there's no wind blowing, so we're checking every half hour.
And sure enough, after 30 minutes, we went off on our first round.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, little friend.
All right, the first step is to make sure the person who is picking it out is on the right side. So this one came in here. And then he reaches down with his feet to get some leverage to get out, and he gets really stuck. Gotcha. And then he's stuck until we come along.
Kind of just accepts his fate.
It depends on the species.
We checked the rest of the nets, and this Wilson's warbler was our only capture for this round. So now it was time to head back to the banding station and get to work.
All right.
No band on him?
No band, that's nice, yeah. The adult females most of them have been this subspecies that has a lot of black on their head, which is unusual for us.
Step number one in this process might seem obvious, but you have to know what you actually have. And that's not just knowing what species it is, it's knowing whether it's male or female. How old is it? Is it possibly a subspecies? There's a lot of things that you have to know before the actual banding begins.
So the band has a 9-digit number on it. You can see they come in all different sizes. Basically, this just marks this bird, gives it a number, gives all of its information a number, and if we or somebody recatches it, we know exactly which one it is. Then I measure the wing and the tail. On Wilson's warblers, it doesn't tell us very much. 55 on the wing, these are millimeters, 48 on the tail. This is a migrating bird. This bird came out of probably Alaska or Canada. is on its way down to Central America. That little skinny pointy beak, this is an insect eater, and she needs to be someplace where insects are prevalent. Her whole physiology changes when it's time to migrate, and she puts on lots and lots of fat. And then she begins her journey and she flies for as far as she can, usually on the amount of fat that she has on her body, and then she stops and refuels. So for this bird, we're a gas station in 7-Eleven. Everything I see there is ruby red, which is muscle.
Birds store fat on 3 parts of their body. First is under the wings in the wing pits, second is under their throat, and then the third place is on their lower abdomen. And when doing a physical exam, there's really only one way to be able to see it.
She has, we'll give her a 1 fat, close to a 2, but we'll go with 1.
The fat scale is a 1 to what?
1 to 7.
Okay. So 7 means they're nice and plump.
We have all these words. This is the important part. Such birds are nicknamed butterballs. I did not write that. All right. The last thing we do is we weigh it. I put the little bird in my tube. 7.4 grams.
She's good to go.
And after the weigh-in, the bird is now free to go. As we began our second round of the day, I asked Meredith what was the craziest bird that she'd ever caught in the nets before. And her answer was surprising, but also, I guess, not surprising at the same time.
Or just surprising, or just like you came around the corner and you were like, oh, no way. Red-tailed hawk.
It was a place like this where the hawk had come in for breakfast. There was a songbird in this net about right there.
Yeah.
And he heard us coming. So he turned to get away, and he went this way, and he fell backwards into the net and was caught like this. And you've seen what the rebar that
Yeah.
He was fighting so hard and he was so strong that he bent the rebar.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So that was very funny.
As we finished round 2, there were no red-tailed hawks waiting for us in any nets, nor were there any other normal birds either. But the team searching the other section of nets did have the biggest surprise of the day waiting for us back at the banding station.
I can see gray wing. Ooh, you are big.
Flycatcher?
It has an
Flycatcher of some kind?
name.
Woo! Wow! A bird we hardly ever catch.
Okay.
Oh, wow! What? No!
Even better.
Look at the yellow in the wing. That gives it away.
Do you know where it is? No. You don't?
Oh, this is
Oh, I can't see.
Pull the chairs
I
out
know.
closer.
This is a bird that you see way up high in a tree, way at the top, posing like that.
What?
That is so cool.
What?
Hi, lovely. The Townsend Solitaire.
Wow. That's a new one for me.
882.
Yes, there you go.
See, that's why we read off the number.
As we started going through the process with this Townsend's, someone on the team noticed that there was some trouble afoot in the field right behind the banding station. A small herd of mule deer were moving through the area, and it looked like they were heading right for our nets. We rushed out there to see what the damage was. Fortunately, at this first net where the deer crossed, it was kind enough to have crawled under the net. It did leave some leaves behind though. Jeez. But unfortunately, at the second net, the deer did cause a minor amount of damage, but it was fairly easy to repair. And speaking of these nets, I could tell that there was something definitely different about them. They aren't your typical fishing net, that's for sure. So as Meredith and I started round number 3, I asked her about them.
Yeah.
Yes, they're called mist.
Mist nets. Okay.
And I don't know exactly, although I think it has something to do with how they look.
Yeah.
We have most of ours, that's a 12-meter net. You can see those two over there were shorter. Those
Yeah.
are 6-meter nets. And when you evaluate a season, you don't evaluate based on total. I mean, we talk about total number of birds, but if we are evaluating it, we do it based on net hours.
They're almost like a kind of like a pocket, right? So the idea is that they kind of,
it's a pocket, and
yeah.
on the one bird we saw,
You're right.
it had gone down
Yeah.
into the pocket.
Right.
The pocket can
Go either way depending
go
on
either
the way the
way,
wind is. Yeah.
which side the bird hits
Right.
from, and that's what usually clues you into. I mean, if the bird is if the pocket's over here, the bird probably came in over here.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. So there is like some give when they hit the net. It's not just like a trampoline.
There's a lot of give.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get any new captures on our side of the nets, but the team checking the other half brought back this new warbler for the day.
It is another warbler. This is a semi-difficult one. Yeah, it's got a really
3 seconds.
The iron white.
really strong pretty much broken eye ring. So we got a McGilvery's warbler here.
Ooh.
Lovely bird.
Never had that one either.
On our next round, we turned up yet another new warbler species for the day, but this time, they put my identification skills to the test. And I'll admit, I was struggling with this drab warbler.
Scott gonna tell us what it is?
That's a feather bird.
That is, oh man.
As Erling Kingery would say, the species where there's nothing that tells you what it is.
Fortunately, she gave me the cheat code.
Well, that should tell you what it is.
It is an orange crown.
It is not a young female orange crown.
Okay.
Then, on one of our last rounds of the day, we came across another interesting find, or should I say, it was a first of season capture. The bird isn't particularly rare, it just means that it was the first time this season one had been caught. And I almost completely missed it.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't see it?
I didn't either. No, I did not see it.
I did. Oh, this is winter. This is pretty early. Really nice looking.
Hey, little friend.
Oh, look how much white he has in his tail.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the indicators of subspecies is the amount of white.
Oh, okay.
And this is a biggish, chunkiest,
Yeah.
chunky. Excited, I guess.
As we got back to the station, it was refreshing for me as an intermediate birder who sometimes struggles with IDs. See, the experts here really struggle with this one too. We had to go through the book, we did a magnified examination. We knew it was a dark-eyed junco, but determining the subspecies can be tricky, and there's a lot of intricate details that you have to go over to know what you have. Our final diagnosis on this was, yes, dark-eyed junco. It was an adult. Subspecies was pink-sided, but we were unable to determine the sex of the bird. I was pretty sad as we did our last rounds of the day where we got 2 new Wilson's warblers, or well, one of them was new. The other was a recapture, or recap for short, which means this bird had just been captured a few days before and already had a band. We still check it over and then let them go on their way. As we wrapped up for the day, I asked Meredith how she got into bird banding, or how does anybody get into bird banding, and her story hit close to home with me.
I say it was my midlife crisis.
I feel like I go through one of those every day.
And I really wasn't into birds much at all. I mean, I literally, I didn't know a flicker from a house sparrow.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Organization where you pay to be a volunteer, but you get to go, you get this kind of experience.
Right.
You know, I ended up on a trip to Costa Rica where they were studying long-tailed manakins. I had never heard of a manakin, but we were also banding everything else that incidentally that came through, and somebody put a black and white warbler in my hand, and
How's that?
that was it.
Yeah.
There I was,
Yeah.
and then I went to work for Bird Conservancy.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
this is that.
Yeah.
In this video, I've shown you how we capture birds and band them. I've shown the process, I've shown the steps, but I've waited until the end to answer the more important question, which is, why do we band birds? Even though our capture total in the day was pretty low, the birds that we did band are still very important, and here's why.
There it goes.
Well, like with most scientific endeavors, the data is everything. We can trace modern bird banding back over a century into the 1920s, and since then, the bird banding laboratory has archived over 77 million bird banding records. And that data set is one of the richest and most valuable in the entire world. The information helps researchers not only monitor population trends, but allows them to also study and see the survival rates of the birds. And most importantly, the data helps guide conservation decisions that protect the birds and their habitats worldwide. One of the best examples I've seen so far of using this data comes from the Bird Genoscape project, and it involves our Wilson's warbler. Most of us are familiar with this kind of range map. It's the kind you would find on eBird or on the Birds of the World website. But what if we could make this map better or even more specific? Well, that's what this project is intending to do, and they're partnering with banding stations to make it happen. Banding stations gather DNA samples from our Wilson's warblers, and then once the Genoscape project gets it, they can then make more specific maps that end up looking like this. Range maps of the future will not only be more location specific, but during migration we can see exactly where they're going and coming from each region. And without bird banding, none of these things would be possible. All right, well, that was my day out at Barr Lake with Meredith and her banding team out there. Oh, man, it was so much fun. It was really great. And again, I'm so thankful that they allowed me to come out and follow them around and ask them a bunch of questions and really just sort of tag along. I got the full access, and yeah, I felt like I really fit in out there. It was awesome. I had to remember that I was out there to make this video, and I couldn't just be a birder. But again, huge round of applause, Bird Conservancy of the Rockies, for allowing me to shoot this video. I did want to hop in here at the end to talk about one last thing. In the video, I think I maybe have showed that we went around on most rounds and we captured birds on most of our rounds. We had 2 new first of season birds, so you might think, yeah, it's a pretty great day out there. But having a total capture of 6 new birds is not a great day out there. That's very low. I mentioned in the video that I was excited because this should be one of the peak days of the fall migration. And a count of 6 is not what a peak day should be. So I had Meredith send me over some data so I could take a look to see what this means. And so she sent me this year plus the previous year's captures on September 19th, because that was the day I was there. And yeah, you can see here in this graph that we are way down from what we should be. However, it's not really fair to look at like a single day and make a judgment about kind of the whole season. Because it could have been a cold weather day, you know, so of course there's not going to be a lot of birds, or maybe the winds were bad the night before, so yeah, not a lot of birds flew in overnight. And of course your count would be low. So we can't really judge a season based on one day snapshot. So I had her send me more data to look at sort of a bigger data set. And she sent me amount of birds captured up until September 19th. And again, you can see that this, sadly, slow season it's not just a trend of one day. It's been a slow go overall for the fall at Barr Lake. Some bright side is that they also can monitor all the other banding stations, not only here in Colorado, but around the country. And if you drove 2.5 hours south down to Chico Basin Ranch, which we've been to many times on the channel, their numbers this fall have been pretty stable and sort of normal. And when they look at other banding stations around the country, overall, it's been pretty stable and normal. So it looks like Barr Lake this fall may be sort of just an outlier. And, they have a few ideas about maybe what's going on out there that has caused their numbers to not be where they should be this year. But overall for the country, it looks like things are pretty normal. Now, if you are a birder and in the know, you will know that we are in the middle right now of a huge population drop-off with birds in general. It's not good. Every year they do a State of the Birds report, and this year's version was pretty damning. If you look at this graph here, you can see the types of birds that are really in decline. And you'll notice on there, grassland birds are in trouble. And that is a lot of species here in Colorado are impacted by this. This is all of our longspurs. This is our mountain plovers. This is our sage grouse. This is our prairie chickens are all going down. They are in code red right now of what they're calling tipping point species, which means if drastic action is not taken soon, the species could be in trouble. So I will say, fortunately, right now, I think there's a lot of momentum in conservation to help get these species numbers back up. I know here in Colorado, in Nebraska, there's a huge conservation program going on right now to help the mountain plovers. Wyoming has been doing a huge sage grouse conservation effort. That's been going on for 20 years. So the momentum, I think, is there to turn these numbers back around, but it is something that is pretty bad. So again, just wanted to jump in here at the end to kind of go over some of that stuff and the numbers. I mean, really diving into all this data could be a whole separate video. But anyway, I think with that, I will wrap this video up. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this different style of video. It's the first time I've ever made something like this where it's kind of more like a documentary. But I think still has my kind of, edit or feel to it. So I hope you really enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you would want to see more videos like this, because I've already got some ideas going about what we could do to make another video like similar to this. So anyways, let me know what you thought. And Elk Rut is coming up next. That is the video I'm starting to edit. Whew, it just never ends. So anyways, I will see you for that. And thank you again so much for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.